everything. Alright, so it seems we're in the game. Let's take a look at these players. So we got ProfitJerome over here in the French. And they are just going to be doing, you know, typical French stuff. Going for the early sheep, the scout. Actually kind of dawdled for a bit. It got the first couple sheep, but yeah, that was basically all it was doing. And now it's actually exploring the map. Although we have a little bit of an animation bug there. The legs just freezing for a moment. And then if we go to the next player, Infernal Elf, down here in the bottom left, and we're actually going to turn Fog of War off for the moment so we can see the map. We can get a look of things. And yeah, they are going for that house. Ooh, we got gold mining coming up for the French player, and lumber coming up for Infernal Elf. So they are going for... I don't know what they would be going for. Because obviously ProfitJerome here with the French, they just want to rush feudal. And then they want to have a ton of knights, basically. So they're just going to be getting less gold and lots of food. And okay, the lumber camp's coming up now. They're going to want to build that stable at some point. But this kind of earlier lumber camp, I'm curious what Infernal Elf is going to be doing. And yeah, they're just exploring the map. Let's take a look at how much they can see. They got that first sacred site viewed. See the gold. They see their opponent's deer. The relic down here. And if we look at the vision of ProfitJerome, wow, they have not explored much of the map, but they have, look at all those sheep. They are going to be good as far as the sheep count goes. Unlike Infernal Elf, sorry. Infernape is a Pokemon. Infernal Elf is the player. Alright, so they have way more map vision, but they don't have as much sheep. That's kind of interesting. And is there like something here that is reversed? We take a quick look. Turn off the fog. So yeah, there are some sheep still, but I actually feel like ProfitJerome has the advantage in terms of that. Yeah, we've got the score on the right hand side, but that doesn't really tell us too much at this point in the game. Yeah, we just take a quick look at these resources. Yeah, ProfitJerome just wants to have enough wood to get houses up and to get that stable up. Look at Infernal Ape. Oh, they're going for the deer now. Interesting. Playing like, I guess, a bit of a longer fuel age. This is going to be extremely vulnerable to night pressure, though. There is nothing defending here. I'm curious if we're going to see like a tower get thrown up or something just to cover both of these. But yep, and there we go. The tower comes up. So Infernal Elf making that correct defensive decision. And actually, yeah, we have ProfitJerome going for a similar idea on the food here, but their stuff is in the back, so it's going to be a bit easier to defend. You have to run past, you have to run through this area, which is, I guess, a bit open, but there's still the town center in front. Whereas this is a much shorter rush distance. Infernal Elf, I wouldn't say necessarily getting screwed over by the way the map gen worked out, but they are definitely at a little bit of a disadvantage here. That said, they've got this tower up, so things not looking too bad for them. And now we have all of these villagers just waiting for that 200 gold. They're going to age up. We've got Barbican of the Sun. We're going to have that to defend with. We're going to cover the gold and the foods, plus this tower. So the tower almost a little bit redundant, but I guess it does allow them to retreat to it quicker, along with the Barbican. these workers get put under pressure. Ooh, that's some nasty idle time. Those workers, yeah, they weren't doing anything for a few seconds. We'll put them at a little bit of a disadvantage, but it should be okay for the moment. Alright, and now we have ProfitJerome. With feudal age, they got their school of cavalry. They don't have enough foods. Do they? Oh no, they're goods. They're goods. Yeah, they got the horsemen coming. Not horsemen, knights coming, sorry. And yeah, they're just gonna build up a whole bunch of royal knights. And they're gonna start harassing, and at some point they'll get chivalry. I'm curious if they're going to wait for this 120 to reach enough for a second stable, and if they're gonna go double stable. They're going archery range. Okay, so this is a nice complementary play to go with the knights. Like, your opponent goes spears, so you make archers, and then these deal with the spears while the knights basically run around and play like as a zoner. You can't just charge into the enemy archers. That said, this is incredibly well defended position. The tower covers more range, so archers coming in are going to have to fight this tower. If the knights try and go on the tower, then the Barbican will defend. Pick off knights. So, yeah, they're looking okay. They got a stable coming up, they got an archer range coming up, so almost looking to kind of match what the French player is doing. And oh, we got the first bit of aggression coming in. They don't charge. So you need to activate the attack move before the knights like get too close, otherwise they won't charge. That said, they were able to get 3 kills. So that's a nice bit of harass. Delays the food income quite a bit. And Infernal Elf, a little bit slow to react there. Losing 3 workers, and you know, they've got all of this vision from this. Barbican for that extra damage as well. And the knights are going to come back. Here come horseman and archer. So, are they going to be able to pick anything off here? You might see the knight get picked off. Oh, there's no focus fire coming in here, so these horsemen are just going to go down. Okay, this one lives on a little bit of health, but not looking too good right now. And here comes chivalry, so yeah, just get a bunch of knights and some archers. What charge does? So charge is almost like an activated ability, so you attack move from a distance and then they go into this charge animation, and when they hit and collide they do a whole bunch more damage. They do 29 damage when they charge. And French knights also get a bonus to attack speed for a short time after they charge as well. So not only is, yeah, here we see it. This is the charge. So this is going to hit. You see that little dust cloud animation. They do a whole bunch more damage. And yeah, the Chinese player has textiles, so these villagers are a lot more tanky. They're going to get picked off a lot less, I should say. It'd be far more difficult to, but the thing about charge, you can run in, charge, do your damage, run out, heal up, which is what they're doing there. When they're out of combat, they heal 1 health a second. Here we go, charge again. And yeah, they're not gonna pick anything off. Bit of mistake there on the attack move. It actually loses 2 knights. So that attack not going well at all. It does, however, delay this gold. And the villagers coming out just now. So they're getting it. ProfitJerome getting a little bit of an advantage from that. Delays the gold income. Yeah, if we go back to resources. Infernal Elf actually has enough gold for an age up, but they are very low on food right now. You're gonna need 1200 to hit age 3. If we look at ProfitJerome, they got a lot of foods. Gold counts actually coming up quite well. Like if you look at the amount of gold over here, that's like, they're going to be looking to go up to age 3, possibly fairly soon. Because yeah, like they have map control right now. So like, they might as well just take advantage, tech up, go to Castle Age, and then they can do things like capture these sacred sites, they can go for these relics. And then they just continue to gain more and more of an advantage. Whereas, if you look at Infernal Elf, they're really low on foods. Gold count's quite high. You know, which is nice, but... like, what are they going to be able to do? What are we looking at here? Is that a second stable? It is a second stable. Oh, wow. Infernal Elf's actually going to be very aggressive here. I guess, yeah, they have to go for something. They just want to do a bit of damage. But this town center covers all of this. Do these villages have textiles? They don't. So the villages are a little bit more vulnerable. They don't have a lot of health, but the knights are just going to come in and clean this up. Town center. Yeah, you don't want to fight under a town center. ProfitJerome's just like, yeah, I need foods. I have all this woods. They have a lot of inactive workers. I think they kind of messed up when they were clicking on these farms. And here we go. Getting those up just now. And yeah, all these workers going to go back. And yeah, they're just going to try and get as much food income up as they can. Because they have a ton of gold. It's just food they're lacking. We look over here. Yeah, you've got archers. They're able to just pick off villagers one at a time. And yeah, these horsemen normally would be doing good against the archers. But there's a knight and another horseman. Is that a scout? That is a scout. Okay, so the scout's quite beefy. And it does naturally regen health even in combat. So it's quite good as a tank. And yeah, they're just covering or screening for these archers. Ooh, ProfitJerome? There's a lot of idle workers there. Let's take a look. 41 workers against the 27 of Infernal Elf. They have a huge economic lead. Neither player going for a second TC. They're both just going 1 TC right now. ProfitJerome. They might honestly just try and finish this with feudal. Just get a huge knight count and then go for victory. And yeah, there's like a ton of areas of back harass here. Once the knight count gets high enough, outposts don't really do much anymore. And cannon slits are quite nice. They do quite a lot of damage, especially against knights who are, you know, normally very tanky because of their high armor, but hand cannons hit extremely hard. So armor in this game not as effective as actually can't cover that. Oh well. Yeah. Armor in this game not very effective against single high damage attacks. It's much better against multiple low damage. And yeah, at this point, I mean, the score are really telling the picture now. We've got ProfitJerome almost doubling their opponent's score. And Infernal Elf, they're just struggling. Like, they're trying to pick off enemies units where they can. They're a little bit harassed. There's very little protecting up here. This is wide open. And if this had happened earlier, like this would have been much more valuable. But look at that compared to like, just the amount of Royal Knights over here. And yet, okay, like the horsemen getting some damage done. You know, villagers getting picked off. Like if we take a look at the military, like, they are starting to kill some units. But like 4 killed versus 17 lost is not good. Yeah, things are not looking good for Infernal Elf right now. Yeah, they're housed on 40 versus ProfitJerome has 76. 32 military units and more villagers than Infernal Elf has in total as far as unit count. So yeah, ProfitJerome, they're doing the very typical French thing of getting those early knights, they're backing up with archers, battering ram comes out, And they're just gonna make rams and finish this off, I think. Yeah, they have a huge amount of villagers on wood. 26 on wood. So they're just looking to make a whole bunch of battering rams. Even putting the archers in. I think this is a smart play. It means the cavalry can't do anything against them. And the interesting thing about battering rams is defensive structures will always prioritize and shoot battering rams first. So, yeah, arrows from like this and arrows from, I mean, there's nothing actually in the outpost, so not really doing anything. Those will be shooting the battering ram, and the knights will just be tearing everything apart underneath. And I think this is going to be game. Like, just looking at the units killed versus units lost. 91 population versus 32, and this is actually going down. The Barbican's going down. There's nothing it can do against this battering ram, and while the battering ram is there, it cannot attack other units. So yeah, it's just gonna go down, and yeah, Infernal Elf is just pulling villagers. They're trying to repair this desperately, but the ram is there, so it's not going to be doing anything to help with these knights. And the knights are just going to continue to burn things down. And yeah, they've actually run out of wood, so they can no longer repair. All these villagers kind of just sitting here. I think we're going to see a game ending fairly quickly. The ram lives, and they're trying to burn it down with villagers. This is what they should have done earlier, is just try and kill the ram as quickly as they could. But and it will go down. But there's a second battering ram on the way. Yeah, we're going to see this get attacked, and yeah, that's game. ProfitJerome takes it pretty convincingly. And Infernal Elf, they did okay, but I think they just crumbled under the pressure of the harass a bit too much. So, nicely done to ProfitJerome. Their first victory of the tournament in a pretty quick game. Like, we can take a look at these charts. Yeah, that says a lot. Total unit count, like, they're going up towards almost 100 there. And it's like, just that fight at the end really did not work out well. But you look at the harass that took place over the game. Right, let's go back to this timeline. So you go to like villager count, for example, and you can just see where like the harass was happening like across time, and if you're just constantly losing villagers, it's gonna hurt. And yeah, that meant France could just have a much bigger economy over the course of the game. And yeah, it says everything really. Look at score. Yeah, and there's just this point where like France just leaps forwards and China is just kind of struggling until that final fight, and then they are defeated. So that is our first game of the tournament. This is my first time doing like Age of Empires 4 commentary. I've done Age of Empires 2 before, but I'm enjoying it. It's going good. I'm actually kind of like more familiar with what's going on compared to Age of Empires 2. So I'm enjoying it so far. But we're gonna exit out. We're gonna try and find some more games to cover.